It's lovely to be back at Mission. I've really missed you. I won't lie to you. I've been off the circuit now for over a year, and so I wasn't expecting to be on any stage at all. And this is the first stage I've been on in a year and a half, so I'm extremely happy to be here. Thanks so much for having me. Michelle went into how we got here, and that's one thing I know about Michelle is she's been a great friend of mine since the day I met her here at Mission. I don't know how many years ago, and we've stayed friends through the years. And one thing she is a musical friend of mine, but even more than that, she's a friend of music, and there's no doubt about that. As is everybody who works at this festival, and everybody who volunteers, and everybody who sings in choirs or does anything else. First and foremost, the music. So I'm feeling very, very, very fortunate, and especially today,
Because David was unable to sing last year and may not be able to sing with us this year, we could still have him engaging with the stories which people adore, and we all adore, and sing the music that people also love. We chose to go back to his first album, the 1996 release, Torn Screen Door, and do as much of a retrospective of those songs as we could within the context of 50 minutes.
That's one thing I noticed for sure. And I was thinking about it last night, and I'm thinking to myself, being a singer-songwriter at a festival with no voice is like climbing into the ring with Muhammad Ali at his peak, and you're standing there like this. Come on, you big, I'll give you one of these. I don't have much to offer, but I'll tell you a few stories, that's for sure. Deborah Hadley's been just such a great influence through all of this, and she's really been behind the whole thing. So it's a brilliant crew standing on this stage with me. I'm a very fortunate man. So thanks for having me, guys.
Then we do 3 hours passing through the customs gate in harmony.
We'll start off with this song. It's a song I wrote when I had this job in Toronto, and I would leave Toronto, Ontario at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'd drive down to Buffalo, New York every single morning, and I'd pick up these big blue bags of stuff at the airport.
With the sun coming up over Buffalo, I'll be turning for home with a load to go.
It was things for the movie industry, a bunch of promo stuff and such. I didn't know what was in the bags. I just picked up the bags, took them to a broker at the border, took them up to Toronto. And so it involved crossing the border every single day, which is a daunting thing for most of the people, and certainly for me. Every time I get to a border, I feel like basically confessing to everything I ever did wrong, So I managed to not do that, and I was getting along great at the border. But my whole life was just falling to pieces at the time.
Well, I think of my baby fast asleep when the sun comes calling the new day.
My wife was leaving me, and I was really desperately in bad shape. And so I was leaving at 3 in the morning. I wasn't eating anything at all. I was just living on cigarettes and Tim Hortons, large double-doubles all day. That's what I did. And then I thought, I need to get some health in my diet. And so I bought a big bag of orange candy is what I did. So my theory on that was, well, it's orange, so it has to be somewhat good. And inside this hard orange candy was this white sherbet powder, And so it really gave you a zing, picked you up, And so that's how I was going to live it. And I was getting to the border, going through no problem, until the U.S. got their new border guards, I guess. They switched over the border guards, some of them. And this one woman came on, and no offense to anybody in the U.S. or anything, but this is what happened to me. She's on the border. I'll pull up, and I suddenly realized, took one look at her, and I thought to myself, she doesn't like me completely. She just can't stand the sight of me. And so I pulled up, and she says, where are you going? And I said, Buffalo Airport. And she says, what are you doing? And I said, I'm picking up stuff, Don't say stuff. Make something up. Tell them you're picking up anything. As soon as I said stuff, her ears grew a foot, So I'm standing there going, uh-oh. I'm sitting there going, uh-oh. And she looks at me and she says, where are you from? And I said, Toronto. She goes, no, where were you born? And I said, Scotland. And she said to me, Scout's honor, she says to me, where's that? So there I was trying to explain Scotland to this woman. I was saying, we have kilts and bagpipes and all that, And she goes, get over there. And so I go over there. And I walked in and the guy said, what are you doing here? And I said, I'm here because she failed geography. That's why I'm here. Anyway, I tried to avoid her after that, but I managed it pretty good. And then she disappeared for 4 days, and I thought, oh, the world's right again. But no, on the 5th day, there she is. She's back. I'm right in her line. I'm thinking, oh, no. I thought I better freshen up for her. So I put my cigarette out, and I took my Big Timmy's, and I had a big hit of that. And then I reached into my bag of candy, which I'd done hundreds of times on this drive. I reached into the bag of candy. I picked up my little orange candy. It was wrapped in cellophane. I shot it into my mouth like I'd done hundreds of times. Only this time, it hits this tooth right here, smashes into a million pieces, and shoots white powder all over my face and my nose. It didn't go well at all. So I'm here to tell you, it's still legal in the States to ingest sherbet, but I wouldn't recommend it at the border. Anyway, I wrote this song about all that time in my life. It's called Borderline. And tell you the truth, I left her out of it because she was just such a drag. So over to the choir. This is a wonderful thing for me, folks.
Four in the morning, 20 below, with the sun